Welcome to part 2 of Telekinesis with gold, silver, and copper. If you haven't seen part 1, why don't you go back and watch that first? It's pretty important that you start there. In part 2, we're going to work with some long distance telekinesis. And I'm going to do 2 trials with each metal. So here's the first trial with gold. And first I form a connection up close to it with my hands on the glass and off the glass. But those are just preliminary because when I feel like I have a strong connection with the metal, then I back off. I set the chair aside and step back a few feet and see if I can maintain the connection over time. And as we see here, about 3 minutes in with the gold and several feet back, I'm still moving it. Sometimes it moves faster than others, and that has to do with my level of feeling tuned into the gold, my level of relaxation, versus stressing out about the experiment not working. All these factors play an important role. We see here that sometimes I'm too far back and I feel the connection's broken, so I come up close again and then it starts moving. Here's the second trial with gold. Again, I form a connection, then I back off. About a minute and a half in, and the gold is responding pretty well. And I move further and further back. Sometimes it just kind of dies off. Now this is late in the day for me. You can tell when I put my hands on my hips like that I'm just frustrated and tired. So here we are with silver, the first time using silver for the long distance experiment, and about 2.5 minutes in, it's responding pretty well with my hands just off the glass. I feel I'm connected to it, so I stand up and I back off. And just use the same technique I've been using all day long, which is basically about intention, attention, relaxation, letting the energy flow. It's pretty basic. There's a lot to say about telekinesis, but when it comes down to the technique, it's pretty simple. Here in Denver, I teach classes of about 12 people at a time, and within 2 hours, they can do everything I can do just by learning the technique directly. Okay, here's my second attempt at silver, and in less than a minute I'm standing several feet away and moving it. I think overall silver has been pretty easy for me compared to the other metals so far in these videos. So I'm stepping further away, seeing what I can get away with here in terms of my connection. I still seem to have a good connection with it. And I feel pretty satisfied that I have a good connection with silver, so I'm going to end this pretty soon and then go to copper. We'll see how copper does. Okay, my first copper trial. And about 3 minutes in, and then it starts to move, so it's a little slower than the others. I really sped this up so you don't get too bored waiting around for something to happen. And I don't go that far back. I don't feel like I have a good connection with it. It's not moving very well for me right now. And this was late in the day for me, so I'm a lot more tired than I was in the earlier video. So this is the actual speed, or 4 times speed. A close-up of the copper, 9 minutes in, and that seemed like a pretty good movement, but it took 9 minutes. Here's a second trial with copper. Let's see if I do better here. Okay, I must feel like I have a connection. I back off and it starts to move even faster. But then it dies off. Is it something about the copper, or is it about me? Oh, copper starts speeding up again. See, what happens during these experiments is half the time I'm battling my own mind. Sometimes I start daydreaming and thinking about other things, or I just feel satisfied with the initial movement and I just give up, or I get nervous about making the video, or start thinking about what people might say about it, or just start thinking about the next day's work. So as I read in my second book, Meditation X, this is a form of meditation, and it's a direct form of feedback about what's going on in my mind. Okay, so copper did okay, but I don't think it was as responsive as silver or gold. So let's just go on to part 3 now. Thank you.